Okay, next steps. They recommend you get this program card, and on this program card you unhook or disconnect this wire set here, and you connect into this portion into the same plug, and then you come back into the back here. They give you a wiring diagram, and they also point out in there, just to make sure you get your timing right, that the black is ground, and they give you a minus, a plus, and they give you like an infinity sign for the white, and the white is the infinity sign. So when you're looking on this side, you'll see the same notations. So once you hook up the program card, you turn the switch on, and then on the instructions they give you what the default settings are. And this shows you the default settings. There's another way you can set all this with your transmitter, or you're pushing buttons and listening for beeps and flashes. That sounds like it could be sort of a nightmare going through if you go too far. And so this programming card is very handy. So item 1 is the running mode. Item 2 is the drag brake force. Not sure, I think this is glaring there. Maybe that's better. Item 3 is low voltage cutout and start mode. Then there's another button on here to reset everything to default values if you think you messed it all up and just want to start all over again. So yeah, this makes things a lot easier, I think, than sitting there counting beeps and flashes. Okay, so I've just finished buttoning everything up. Put the wheels back on, the car back together. I can't say that I'm real proud of this tie strap holding down the ESC, but I think that'll work. I've got some wires that are too long. I'll have to clean those up, but at least I can run it and test it and see how things are going. Here's the on-off switch flopping around. I'll have to figure out something to do, maybe Velcro, or maybe I'll check out the blog sites and see what other people have done. So back to the motors. Here's the original motor that came with it. This is the 15 turn. This was the Traxxas 12 turn. You can see it's a little bit longer. And here's the ESC that came out. Right now I've just got a little 2000 milliamp NIM inside. The one, like I said, that came with it. So fire up the controller, the remote. You can hear the fan starting up. Oops, it's backwards. I'll have to change 2 of the poles. Ha! Okay, so this is my Arrma Raider brushless motor upgrade from a brushed motor. And this is the wrap up to it. So on this, I'm still not particularly excited about using this tie strap to hold the ESC in place. That's all I've got for now. I'm going to take the car out pounding this weekend. If this doesn't do the job, then I'll have to try to come up with something else. I had a little bit of issue trying to test it out when I was just running in the street up and down. When I'd punch it, after about 5 or 6 punches, I would pull the throttle, and the car didn't go anywhere, but you could hear the motor spinning. So at that point, I think it was because my slipper clutch was out of adjustment. Took it apart, cleaned it up, put it all back together. And they said unscrew it 4.5 turns or in the instructions, so that's what I did. When I did that, I still had issues with it heating up and slipping still, so I turned it in another full turn, and that seemed to take care of the problem. Lessons learned on this. First lesson is read the instructions. When I placed my order on Tower Hobbies, I downloaded the instructions and read them at least 3 times before I actually received my order. Once the order came in, I took out the parts, lined them all up, double checked I had everything, how it all was supposed to go together before I actually started the install. This programming card was real slick. I think the instructions were a little bit lame, but once you understood it and got into it, then quite honestly, it made the programming easy, but figuring out how to put it all together, that was a little bit dicey because you had to go between the instructions that came with the programming card and the instructions that came with the ESC. So this is what I took out. There's the original Mega motor. There's the Traxxas 12-turn I've been using and the ESC that came with it. And so I'll be putting that probably in a junk drawer. I don't know why I'll keep it, but I will. Shout out to my dad who taught me to read the instructions before you start a job. And another credit to him is I've cleaned up everything. My tools are all put away. There's the toolbox. And this is the area that I've been working on. I've had this set up for 2 nights. Worked on it about an hour and a half, 2 evenings in a row. And so I'll break this down and return the living room to my wife, and thank you to her for being so patient with me having the house turned messed up here. Another lesson learned is I've got to get a better soldering iron. I have a cheapy 30-watt from Harbor Freight. It was okay for fixing a keychain one time, but it's not good enough for hobby grade applications, which is what I needed here. It got the job done, but it took a long time. It was slow. So I do need something better than that. And last but not least, really excited about how well this went. I thought it went a lot better than I had expected. I'd wondered if I bit off more than I could chew. But anyway, it all seems to work out. I'm really happy with the results. The car is really moving fast. I have no idea how fast it's going. Wished I had one of those little boxes that tells you. But maybe eventually or down the road I'll get one. I'm not sure. So with that, I'll say that this is done and sign off, and thank you for watching.